Hello, this is Captain Chaudhari. In my series of videos on basic ship stability calculations under bilging, we were doing different uh, locations of the tanks which are bilged with different kinds of commodities. Now, in this particular video, I want to talk about a combination bilging. Combination bilging means there is a double bottom that is empty, gets damaged, along with the compartment on top with a homogeneous cargo permeability 70%. So let's pick up this question. Let's take this question from my book. It says that there is a vessel 160 meters in length, right? And if we consider this side as forward, there is this double bottom and the vessel floats at even keel draft of 8 meters. There is this cargo of permeability 70%. Permeability is 70%, right? 8 meter draft. Kg is not given. When the kg is not given, we use BML instead of GML. So in such questions where we don't know the position of center of gravity, we say that BG is very, very small compared to BML or GML. So we can say that the BML is approximately equal to GML. And since the position of center of gravity is not given, we are not able to find out GML. We don't, in these calculations, we don't find out what is the new kV. As you know, in any bilging question, the center of buoyancy tends to move upwards, right? So as far as the kV is concerned, kV always increases compared to the original kV. Original kV would have been 4 meters, but we don't do the calculation because we don't have to find out GML because kg is not given. Loss buoyancy is in the upper part and in the lower part. In the lower part, I would say the loss buoyancy is 18 into 20 into 2. The total loss, because there is no permeability and the compartment is empty. And in the upper part, the loss buoyancy would be up to here it is 2 meters, so this height is 6 meters. So 18 into 20 into 6, but this is to be multiplied with permeability, that is 0.7. So this is going to be the total loss buoyancy, 720 plus 18 into 7 gives me 1512, and the total is 2232 meter cube. Now, intact water plane area, when we talk about the water plane area in such questions, it does not want to know what is underneath. There is a damage here, but we don't care as far as we are talking about the water plane area. At water plane area, what happens? Like, of course, we assume that initially the vessel sinks bodily. Water plane area, if we look at the water plane area, the loss is only because of the compartment, and we, as usual, would say it is equal to total minus lost water plane area. Total water plane area is 160 into 20, and the lost water plane area is 18 into 20 into 0.7. Let's do it. 160 into closes. This is 2948. 2948 meter square. So the sinkage is equal to loss buoyancy upon intact water plane area, and that is 2232 divided by 2948. 2232 divided by 2948 gives me 0.757. So sinkage is equal to 0.757, and new draft therefore is 8.757. As I said, explained in the beginning that in this particular question, we would assume that GML is approximately equal to BML, so we don't need to calculate what is the new kb. Otherwise, in this particular question, if we had to find out kb, we would have found kb by moments, because kb would not be half of the final draft, because the damage is not vertically uniform. This is a typical example that in a box vessel the damage is not vertically uniform, right? Because here the damage is 100%, here the damage is only 70%. Now, having found out what is the loss buoyancy, as I told you before also, in cases of end compartment or intermediate compartment bilging, one of the first things that you do is, this is the plan view, one of the first things that you do is find out, like suppose this is the midship, this was original position of center of flotation, there is a damage over here, and the tendency of center of flotation would be to run away from the damage. So we say that F has shifted to F1, and how to find out F1, I told you, we take the moment of total area about all midships, so the distance is 0, minus this area is 18 into 20, right? And the distance from over here, this is 18, so this distance is 9 meter. The original distance till the end is 80 meters, because 160 upon 2 is 80. 80 minus 9 is equal to 71. So the distance from the centroid till the midship is 71. So I multiply this distance with 71. The loss is only 70%, so I must multiply the expression by 0.7. This divided by intact water plane area, and intact water plane area we have seen is 2948 meters square. So let us see what is the FF1. FF1 is 18 into 20 into 71 into 0.7 equals divided by 2948. That is 6.069. This is 6.069. I write it here also. FF1 is equal to 6.069 meters. Now, we also must find out what is the shift of center of buoyancy. Shift of center of buoyancy will have to be looked at in this diagram, the side elevation. We can see that the new draft is 8.757, and I told you we would take the moment of this entire underwater volume up to 8.757 without bothering about that there is a damage over there, right? So what we do is, this is forward and this is aft. We take the moment of the volumes about the aft, and our typical way of working or procedure that we follow is we find out what is the total, and from there we minus the wasted or the lost quantity to find out the residual quantity. So let us take the moment of these volumes about the aft. First of all, the total volume. Total volume would be 160 into 20 into 8.757. This is the volume multiplied by distance, that is 80. This is, I've taken the moment of total volume about the aft. Now, taking the moment of, now from this I need to subtract whatever is loss in this area. So first of all, let's take the top part. Top part is 18 into 20 into 6.757. This is the volume multiplied by the distance. The length of the compartment is 18, so half of the length is 9 meters. So distance from the centroid till the aft is going to be 160 minus 9, that is 151. The distance is going to be 151 meters, right? But this loss is not 100%. This loss is only 70%, so 0.7, right? I want to subtract this loss. And then talking about this double bottom, it is 18, that is the length, multiplied by 20 into 2, that is the vertical height, this is the volume, and the distance once again is 151, there is no permeability. This is the calculation we need to do, and this entire thing is to be divided by intact underwater volume, right? So that would give you the LCB1, right? So this is the expression for LCB1. Let's do it. 160 into 8.757 into 80. So this is 2241792. 2241792. And let's solve the bracket. It is 18 into 20 into 6.757. So the expression is 364,134.6. So this will have to be my 654, and this will have to be divided with intact underwater volume. Intact underwater volume is 160 into 20 into 8. So that gives me 73.346. This gives me 73.346 meters. So as you can see, the damage is forward, the center of flotation shifts off, center of buoyancy also shifts off. Now earlier LCB, that is before damage, the LCB was 80 meters, and now the LCB is 73.346, which means the shift of center of buoyancy is 6.654. BB1, I will write it here, BB1 is equal to 6.654 meters. So you can see that shift of center of flotation is 6.069, whereas the shift of center of buoyancy is more than the shift of center of flotation, 6.654. This is because at the surface the loss is only 70%, not 100%. But if we talk about the loss of buoyancy, we are talking about loss of buoyancy over here, which is 70%, and loss of buoyancy here, which is 100%. And that's why the BB1 is slightly more than FF1. Okay, having found out BB1, in the end or intermediate compartment, there is always a requirement to find out as to what is the residual moment of inertia about the athwartship axis passing through the new position of center of flotation, that is this axis. First of all, the total moment of inertia of waterplane area about athwartship axis through F1. So let's find out. That is 20 into 160 cube upon 12 plus 20 into 160, that is area, into d square, AD square. The d, the distance is 6.069 square. So this is the total moment of inertia about the athwartship axis through F1. Now lost moment of inertia of the waterplane area about the athwartship axis through F1. For that, let us first find out what is the loss about the own axis. Loss about the own axis is 20 into, along the length it is always power 1, into 18 cube upon 12. But if we consider loss about an axis which is passing through F1, let's say the original distance to the midship was 71, and now the 71 will be added with 6.069, so it will become 77.069, right? So we need to shift this moment of inertia to this position, and the distance is 77.069. The area is 20 into 18 and the distance is 77.069, that will be square, but the loss is only 70%, so we multiply 0.7 with the loss. Let's solve these expressions. Now the first expression is 160 into 160 into 160 into, it closes. This expression is 6944531. 6944531.5, and after decimal can be neglected basically. And now let's solve this. It is 20 into 18 into 18 into 18 equals divide by 2. Now this is 1503590 gives me 212.537. 212.537. So this is the total moment of inertia about this axis. This is the lost moment of inertia about the same axis. We subtract, and everything is divided by, the difference is divided by intact underwater volume. That is the initial underwater volume. What we get is the BML. 212.537. BML is 212.537. Now let's do the last part of the calculation. We have the formula trim change upon LBP is equal to BB1 upon GML, which is approximately equal to BML. Trim change is equal to BB1, that is 6.654 into LBP 160 divided by GML, which is equal to approximately equal to BML, 212.537. 6.654 into 160 equals divided by 212.537 gives me 5.009 meters. Now TRA, which is the change of draft aft, purely because of trim change, not because of sinkage, purely because of trim change. That means the aft component of change of draft is given by TRC into LCF upon LBP. So TRC is 5.009. LCF, you know, the center of flotation has shifted aft, so LCF would reduce because the damage is forward, center of flotation shifts aft. So LCF reduces by amount 6.069. Original LCF was 80 meters. 80 minus 6.069 gives me 73.931. 73.931 divided by LBP 160. So I get 2.314. 2.314 meters is the TRA, and TRF is equal to TRC minus TRA, 2.314. So that is 2.314, 2.695. 2.695. So the standard trim calculations can be done starting with the draft forward 8.000, half 8.000. The sinkage is 0.757, 0.757, and then the forward draft will be increased because of the trim change, and the increase in forward draft is 2.695, 2.695. the reduction in the aft draft is 2.314. So I have the forward draft as 8.757 plus 2.695. That gives me 11.452, and the after draft 8.757 minus 2.314 gives me 6.443. So you've seen in this question the damage was complex in the sense like there is a damage to the hold with 70% permeability and damage to the double bottom which was empty with 100% permeability. So here in this particular question, the point to be point to be considered is like when we are finding out the shift of center of buoyancy, we take the moment of total underwater volume, right, and then reduction of or loss of the supporting buoyancy, is done in two steps. One is the loss that is caused in the upper part and then loss that is caused in the lower part, right. As far as the shift of center of flotation is concerned, it does not consider the loss of buoyancy at double bottom level. It only looks at the water level. So when we talk about shift of center of flotation, when we talk about moment of inertia, when we talk about loss of water plane area, we just look at the final water line. So here we have the draft forward 11.452 and draft aft as 6.443.